What is up guys, and welcome to another episode. This time I decided to do something a little bit different, so I decided to create this new series called Tea and Chat. Basically, I just sit down with some tea and have a chat. Any topic, whatever comes to mind, or whatever the viewer suggestions should be. So today I decided to talk about the pros and cons about living in Puerto Rico, since I've been living here basically all my life. So let's start off this video by mentioning the pros of living here. Everything is so near. The beach, your friends, the mall, anywhere you want to go, it's just a short drive away. Even though this is a tiny place, there is so much to see here. From waterfall to beaches, practically any drive you take, it's gonna be a scenic one. Like, we got the world's largest single dish radio telescope, so if you're into science, I totally recommend you visiting that. We also have the world's tallest zip line measuring around 850 feet up in the air, and you go about 65 miles per hour. And it's only the world's second longest, only by 6 feet. I think it's like 4,700 and something feet long. You can go to bioluminescent bays where the water glows when you touch it due to this phytoplankton, I think it's called. Phytoplankton, I don't know how to say it in English, but you can also visit different types of caves and caverns like the Kamui Cavern, which I think it has the third largest underground river in the world, and the sights are spectacular. Like, this thing is massive. Seasons here are not that pronounced, so you can go to the beach anytime you want. It's practically warm year round, so beach in December, you got it. The food, I love it. It's just mofongo, you got freaking pasteles, arroz con habichuela. Oh my god, it's so good. I love it. It's just good. It's not really good for you, but it's good. Now I'm gonna mention some things that I really don't like about living here. Number one, the weather is not predictable, okay? At all. Don't try, forget about it. Don't watch your weather forecast. Accept the fact that it's not predictable. It could be sunny, and in 2 seconds, it'll be pouring rain. So an umbrella is something pretty good to have here. The second thing I don't necessarily like about this place is that it's warm year round, and that's not a bad thing, but sometimes it can get quite warm. I'm talking about hot. During probably the months of December and January, it could go down to as little as 13 degrees, that's Celsius, and probably that around the mountains as well, but it can go all the way high as, let's say, like 27, 30, sometimes even 34, which, needless to say, is hot AF. And the last is that things here are generally more expensive. Like, holy shit. Oh, sorry. Not only because of the tax, but because certain laws of the ships, they have to visit the mainland first over there and then come over here, so that obviously renders the prices a little bit higher. The prices. Regardless of those things that are cons, in my opinion, I love this place and I wouldn't trade it for anywhere else in the world, I'm sorry. So if you guys didn't know, I am quite a clumsy guy, not just because of my height, it's because generally I am clumsy. I'm always banging myself against everything. So tied to that, I have a lot of scars. Some of them healed and they're not visible, some of them never did, so they are visible. So today I'm going to mention you some of my scars and how I got them. I've had a lot of cuts and bruises and injuries through my lifespan, so I'm not going to be mentioning them all, but I am going to be mentioning some of the worst ones, I guess. Yeah, some of my worst ones. Number one would be my forehead. When I was around 8 years old, I think, I was playing around in the yard and I started running and I tripped and I hit my head against a cement face and I cracked my head open, so they had to take 5 stitches. And it wasn't pretty sight. I can't remember much of it, but I do remember my grandma picked me up and I was like all covered in blood, and I was crying a lot. Number two would be my eyebrow. When I was in 6th grade, we had this Christmas celebration and all the kids were running around and I was like celebrating and running around as well. I wasn't looking and I came face to face with my good friend Steven, both of us running in opposite ends, and banged each other right in the head. So I slit my eyebrow open while he had a massive concussion, 2 different words, concussion. So yeah, he had a big chichon, whatever you want to call that, and I was like, I had to get like, I think it was like 6 stitches. Oh god, I can't speak today. I had to get 6 stitches on my eyebrow, and I was like, for like the rest of the day, or like 1 or 2 days with the eye like super swollen. So number 2 would be my nose. Back when I was 13, I was in my brother's baseball game. My whole family was there and the whole bunch of people. The kids were running around and I was playing around with them and having a good time. And all of a sudden I started bothering this girl in an innocent way, like calling her a silly name, I think it was. But she did not like it at all. I thought it was pretty funny, so I kept doing it until I noticed she picked up a rock and threw it at me. Yeah, she picked up a rock and threw it at me. It hit me square in the face and the bridge of my nose, and it slid it open. So I had to get stitches there. I think it was like 4 stitches, but you could see the bone and everything. I was like, ugh, nasty. But yeah, the girl eventually came to my grandma's house when I was there with her parents, and she apologized, but actually it would have been me who needed to apologize because I was the one who was bugging her and annoying her. So yeah, kids, man. So moving on now to when I was 14. I took on rollerblading, and I know I was not very good at it. That's all I can tell you. So once I was rolling down this hill, rollerblading, not rolling down this hill, and this girl that used to live in our neighborhood, she was way older, but I don't know what the heck got into her head that she decided to scare me, like fake push me. So I freaked out, lost my balance, landed on my wrist, ended up breaking it, and you know when the wrist broke and it kind of like went like this and the bone went like that. So I had like a massive freaking lump and my wrist had like, it was dangling off. It was like super freaky, and I had to be rushed to the hospital, which I still have the scar, but I'm wearing long sleeves today so I can't show you. But near my elbow it kind of got like messed up as well. So yeah, it wasn't fun, and the doctor had to, the doctor had to pull my wrist to align the bones before putting the cast on, and it was like, it was pretty bad experience. The last one that involves my knee was when I was working at this hotel. I was carrying like a bucket, and the bucket was really heavy because it had all this silverware in it, and I was gonna store it away, and I had to go up these stairs that are metal, like they're completely metal, and they had these crisscross patterns so you won't lose your grip on it, I guess. But evidently that didn't work. I ended up slipping because my shoes were wet. Non-slip shoes, by the way. I slipped and my knee landed right on the edge of the metal and it cracked it open, and I think it cracked the bone a little bit. I had to go to the hospital at 4 a.m. and after that the wound, if you're squeamish, don't listen to this. The doctor, the wound had already like closed itself up and stopped the bleeding, but she had to actually rip it open again to clean it, so no anesthetic. It was pretty bad. So yeah, I still have the scar for that one as well. So there you have it, guys. Pros and cons about living in Puerto Rico, along with a few scar stories to go with it. If you enjoyed this video, you might want to consider subscribing. Click on the notification bell so you'll be notified for when I upload. And as always, have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.